Think about this. Think about how the conversation would have been different had the man responded differently, right? What if the man would have come up to Jesus and said, hey, what do I have to do to inherit eternal life? And Jesus said, well, what does the Bible say? And he quotes the Shema, love God with your whole being, love your neighbor yourself. And Jesus said, bingo, you're right, do it and you'll live. Now, what if at that point, everything changed? What if the guy would have said, Jesus, are you serious? There's no way I can do that. There's no way I can love God entirely every moment of every day. I'm going to fall short at that area. There's no way I'm going to love people like I love myself all the time. No way. I'm doomed. What, Jesus, can I do? Man alive, that would have been awesome. The whole conversation would have changed at that point, wouldn't it? That's not what he said. You see, he thought he was good with God. That's why he skipped over the God. Who's my neighbor? You see, Jesus is saying here, it's the gospel and the implications of the gospel. You need a new heart. It's about needing a new heart, and that new heart leads you to love and do new things, different things. It changes everything. It's about the gospel and the implications of the gospel. The law doesn't cover our sin. It exposes our sin. You see, we're not saved by our works. We're saved by Sola Gratia, by grace alone, through faith alone. That's how we're saved. And Jesus saved us to send us. He redeemed us so that we would represent. He redeemed us to represent. And so our love for God will be seen in our love for others and how we show that love to all people. We serve. What this story is about is we serve and we show mercy, not out of guilt, but because of the gospel. That is that is the absolute normative behavior for a Christian, because our heart is changed. You see, we don't come to Jesus and get salvation for self-fulfillment. Salvation is about self-denial. And this is what Jesus is saying. It's normative for a Christian who has a changed heart to see the world completely different. So the answer in how to be right with God, Jesus, let's talk about the two questions. Jesus, what do I have to do to inherit eternal life? He said, buddy, it's perfection. Perfection, that's what's required. That's the standard. Oh, I'm doomed, I can't do that. You're right, Jesus did. He would, and he did. Jesus is the only way. He's the only truth, he's the only life. Jesus, that's how we get eternal life, Jesus. It's about the gospel.